Welcome to Listings and Lullabies, a girl dad's journey with your host, Varun Varma. My name is Vikas Sandhi, and welcome to episode 9.
9, baby, 9.
We made it to 9, and for those of you that are listening and not watching, we do have another episode with an amazing guest. So, Varun, let's introduce this gentleman right here, and let's get this party started.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As you see, we probably have the tallest guest we'll ever have on the show, Jordan Noble, who's been very near and dear to my heart and family for the last 4, almost 5 years. We were introduced and connected through a lender in the real estate world, and then we became to form a good partnership in real estate investing and real estate in the team and stuff. So, and through that, we've built a good friendship for sure. So without any further ado, Jordan Noble, say what's up, say hello, say who the hell you are.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
How's it going? Appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely.
My name is Jordan Noble. I'm a real estate investor, former realtor, former engineer, and girl dad.
Yes, absolutely.
A brand new girl dad.
Brand new girl dad.
Yes.
So I do belong.
So this is the first guest we have where their girl dad journey is newer than yours, right?
Yeah.
So we got to get a lot of tips here from you two.
Yeah.
So Jordan, so you said a couple of formers in there, and we'll get to those.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got the listings and lullabies, but tell us about your girl dad journey, man.
Yeah, so I've got a baby girl, Blair. She is 3 months old with my beautiful wife, Jessica.
Yes.
And I mean, it's just been taking it day by day. 3 months in, so not terribly experienced.
So no sleep? Team no sleep right now?
I don't know. We've actually gotten pretty blessed.
Really?
We've been pretty lucky. I've been kind of sleeping fine for the last month and a half. So
nice. You better knock on wood, dude.
Yeah, I agree. But no, I mean, things have been going good. It's new and it's fun, but I'm loving it.
Yeah. You've had a good routine prior to having a baby, though, because what always blew my mind is you're always up like 5 a.m., right?
I'm a morning guy.
routine.
I'm a morning,
See, so you got some advantage.
Which is, so that helps.
I'm also like, I've always been like, I'm in bed at 9 o'clock. I mean, like,
9 o'clock.
I'll go to bed earlier.
It's true, because on deals that we have together and whatnot, I'm, like if we're negotiating contracts late and, if I have to get a hold of Jordan, I'll just tell the other side, like,
it's like 10 o'clock,
he's in
and
bed, I'm not going to hear back.
I'm like, yo, can we sign this document now? I'm trying to go to bed.
All right, so I'm going to start texting him at 9 p.m. now.
My phone shuts down at 9:30. It goes into sleep mode.
Oh, it's hilarious how
But
he's
that's
just
good.
up
At least,
and down.
I mean,
So that's good. That's
you're
helpful.
taking care of your sleep. So 9 to 5, that's a great routine, man.
Yeah.
So you're ready for that girl dad madness that's about to come your way after 6 months, 9 months, whatever.
For sure.
Yeah.
Man, so tell us, like, okay, so right now you're painting a very perfect picture. What have been some of your challenges?
Fortunately, my wife got a good maternity leave. She actually just went back to work last week.
Oh, wow. So full 3 months?
Yeah,
or so
she was 14 weeks off, and she, she took the brunt of it, right? And that's been super helpful with me getting back into my work routine and everything like that. But like other than that, I feel like the typical challenges that you hear about in terms of, crying in the middle of the night or like learning to feed them, learning to change them, and like just take care of another human being and not knowing what they want.
Right.
And giving them what you feel like everything they could possibly need. And it's like, what's wrong?
What did you do to prepare? Did you do anything different? Did you read books? Did you watch podcasts? Did you watch
I did read
blogs? Like, what did you do?
I did read a book.
Yep.
But like, I read it like the week after we found out she was pregnant.
Okay.
And like,
it just all went away.
It was all gone by the time she came.
Yeah.
I mean, Jessica's a nurse practitioner. She sees little babies. She's
ready for this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
She's always been like good with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I've kind of just learned through watching her. Honestly, like I feel like she's kind of taken the lead, and like it's helped me a lot.
Yeah, just be a yes man and just stay out of the way, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that I don't do anything, but she definitely takes, like I said, the majority of the load.
For sure.
As I feel like probably a lot of mothers do.
Yeah.
Moms are just amazing, man. Like, just the way they balance things out is just...
Yeah, wow. Watching moms and watching Mavisha like just do everything and still manage. Like, for example, this week I decided to go back to the gym. and that was Tuesday. Today's Friday, but I'm still sore. And Wednesday, I woke up and I was sore as shit. And I'm like, babe, I'm sore. And Bavisha looks over at me like, I'm pregnant. It's 5 a.m. Your daughter is awake right now, and you're telling me that you're sore and tired. Like, get out of here. So, but yeah, Bavisha's just on her own, and she went for a walk every morning. Went for a walk that morning, and did the morning routine, and I'm just like struggling along where I can't like lift my arms. And
it's something in their genes, man. They're just built with that resilience gene of like, it's that mama, you know. It's like. Yeah. Moms just know. I was recently on a trip to Tennessee, Gatlinburg, and we saw a mama bear with 3 cubs. Oh. And she's just out there defending everything, going crazy. And so it's not just humans. Yeah. It's like moms across the board. Yeah, for sure. It's just amazing to watch and see that and just kind of be a part of it. You know, it motivates you to kind of be a part of it. And because back in the day, it's such a different world of what dads and the roles were. And that's why we're here sharing how we're still adapting. But so it's great that we all have. So you said you're a real estate investor. Mm-hmm. So you kind of entrepreneurship. You're working, you know, and then your wife is a nurse practitioner. Right. Like, how are you guys? Like, how are you taking care of Blair? How's that going?
So since she went back to work, she went back to work part-time. She is still working Monday through Thursday. My mom's got Blair for 2 half days.
Oh.
And then we have a nanny for the other 2 days. Yeah.
What's is there going to be daycare in the future, or what's that going to look like?
We're not entirely sure. Okay. You know, she was not super on board with sending her to a daycare right off the rip.
Right.
And we had family who was able to help out, so it's like we only really need somebody to fill in like 15 hours a week, really.
Okay.
So, we just kind of made it work with a nanny, and, you know, we're not entirely sure what it looks like in the future. This is where we're like, hey, we've got like a 6-month plan in place.
Yeah, exactly. And well, listen to episode like 4, 5, and 6, and you get some tips. All right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, nice. So everybody's got a different kind of look about daycare or different advantages that they have. So it's interesting to hear kind of how people adapt, what their plan is. And yeah, for sure, it's all a 3 to 6 month kind of plan at a time, just kind of seeing how things adapt. And yeah, maybe things will change, that maybe you'll want, we want Blair to be around other babies and have more of that development aspect, because that mindset and thought process comes in as well. Yep. But yeah, having the grandparents, because we used both of our parents a lot as well in the beginning, because we had Ziana 10 months until she went to daycare. So, that's kind of just a different aspect of it. And we, of course, like we mentioned, some of our friends and people we know have had to go right away, right after 3 months. They're back at work, and it's daycare go mode, and they've had to adapt about that. So it's interesting to hear the different aspects.
And 10 months is still very early to be sending someone. So you know, and there's a lot of unknowns, right, that go along with that. Yeah. You know, so wow, that's really cool. I would love to see or hear, like, because now you're more experienced, I guess. Like, what would be some of your tips to this gentleman right here and to his family about, you know, how to get through the next 10 months?
Don't ever complain about how sore you are. That's number one.
Well, you already look like you've been working out for a long time.
Yeah, so Jordan's got a good routine.
I'm always sore.
Hey, there you go. Always in pain.
Stay swole, stay sore. Nice. That actually, because it's actually cool, because there's another Nick and Nate, they have a partner in their team. Zach just had a baby, so we got to hang out with him up at Memorial Tournament early June, and we were talking because they had a daughter that was born in May. And just that advice and being able to kind of see how things have gone, and then you're looking back as if you're some experienced and seasoned parent, be like, oh yeah, that time goes and whatnot. But it's pretty much what we've spoken about is just really just being on the same page, having a good routine and communication. Of here's what we're doing, whether we're diaper duty, whether we're on nighttime routine duty or cooking dinner or whatever that is, to make things. And now that she's back at work too, that changes, that adapts too, because when Bavisha went back to work, she was like go mode. She started traveling, whatnot. So it was just back to 100 right away. So it was managing that and realizing like, got to show up. But with your routine already, that's, I think, you're, in essence, a little ahead of me in terms of it took me a minute to get that going and realizing, like, okay, yeah, the 8, 9 a.m., 10 a.m. sleep-in days are long gone. Of
retired.
Like, oh, cool, I don't have a meeting till this time, I don't have a call till this time. But I think it's great, and I've always admired that aspect of your life and routine is, like, you've always been, like, a 5 a.m. guy. And there's so many successful books out there and successful readings out there that say, like, start your day at 5 a.m., and it's like that has definitely actually been a key part in the back of my mind of like how much more productive you get when you are up at 6, 7 a.m. versus 8, 9, and what those extra hours and times you have and stuff. So, to circle back, we're taking a little bit of pieces from each other.
Right.
But I would say, yes, especially now that she's back on work, communication, do your share, do your part, and just enjoy it together and find the time for yourselves. Because now you're back at work, you've been at work, and the crazies that we've dealt with over the last 18 months, which we'll jump into in a little bit, because that's also a struggle too, right? Your mental health, dealing with all of that stuff, that stress, as well as, okay, we've got a baby coming on board. We have the baby. Now Jess is back at work. So I would say, just making sure that you guys are on the same page, communicating with each other, and making sure it's a team, not, oh, hey, I've got this, and it's just individual.
Right.
It's just a team aspect and partnership, and it's just an amazing journey together. So remember that. That's what I would say.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're hearing it from Varun, man.
Yeah. No, and I do feel like the communication thing is huge. Like, if it's even just like who's feeding her this time.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, and I don't feel like either one of us would really care, but it's just a matter of, like, just making the decision and, like, communicating that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool, I'll do it. All right.
Yeah.
Rather than me waiting for her to say, I'm going to do it or you're going to do it or whatever.
Absolutely, because sometimes those, like, feeding times are little breaks for the other parent.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, you're feeding. All right, cool. I can just chill for 10, 15 minutes. I can de-stress. I can whatever. Get on Instagram. Whatever. Do any of those stuff for those 10, 15 minutes that the other partner is feeding. And those are huge because especially now that Jess has gone back to work, right now she's dealing with other stresses too. And that's hard for the mom as well because now they're gone from the baby.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't know what that aspect is. You and I were back at it just a couple weeks in, right?
Yeah.
Like we were taking calls probably right when we got home. I took a call. I was on calls literally the day I got home, whatnot. You were kind of back at it because you guys had multiple projects going on.
Right.
And, shout out to Cole, your partner and project manager, who's actually sitting over there, who helps out a lot too. So it's a good teamwork. And you stepped in a lot when I was away with, on paternity leave, right? So having that team and being able to both at home and in the business being able to lean on is certainly a blessing as well. And having those couple minutes just to de-stress, unwind while the other partner is doing something for the baby. Yeah,
for sure.
So so that's always key. So
yeah, that's cool. Well, you got a lot to look forward to. What are you looking forward to? Like, what's exciting you now with 3 months in? Obviously, right now it's like there's not a lot of interaction and engagement and stuff going on. But like, what are you most excited for?
I truly am genuinely like not looking into the future because
Present.
try and be present, yes, but like I know how much we're gonna miss exactly how she is now.
Yep,
you're right.
We've been talking about it, and like the minute she started laughing back at us, right, and all of that, I'm just like, I don't want her to get up and walk around. Like I don't want her crawling. Like I'm not ready for it.
It's gonna happen real fast.
I know. So.
That's definitely you're spot on. That's definitely another piece of advice for any new parent is just enjoy.
Take
because
as many pictures
I was always
as you can.
like, and I remember saying it to a few people sometimes, like, I'm just waiting for more interaction and whatnot. And then you don't get that time of where even you're able to cradle her and hold her like a baby. And now Ziana's walking, and she's just like,
she's running.
Yeah, she's like kind of running, and it's so cute and stuff. But I'm just like, let me hold you. But she wants nothing to do with being stagnant and just sitting still. She wants to be
discovery
gone.
mode
Like,
now,
discovery mode. And it's amazing, but it's like, dude,
I'm like, cut her food off. I don't want her growing anymore.
cut her food. Oh, man, that's funny.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So, that's awesome that you've already thought about that, dude.
Yeah,
that's
I
great mindset.
genuinely have not been like, can't wait till she's walking or talking.
Yeah.
I'm not like that, even though I was actually talking to a buddy who's got like a 2-year-old, and he's like, this is the best age.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everybody says it's the best age. I'm like, they're all the best age at any given day.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I
That's-
got
that's
a
a
well,
great
I did
perspective.
want to, before we go into like the listing side of things, real estate side, like, did you have some habits or some way that you worked up to being able to wake up at 5 a.m. naturally, or like,
Yeah.
how did you get there? Lifestyle or what?
Yeah, I mean, when I graduated college and I was working like a 9-to-5 engineering job, I would get to the office at 7:30, but I always wanted to go to the gym in the morning time beforehand. So it was just like, in order for me, and it was like a 30-minute drive to work, for me to get to the gym, I showered at the gym and then got into the office. Like, that was just what time I had to wake up. It wasn't like a conscious, like, oh, if you want to be successful, you have to wake up at 5 a.m. Like, no, like, I don't necessarily believe in that. But I, like, self-aware, I operate way better in the morning.
Okay.
My
okay.
mind is sharper. Like, some people I feel like are night owls and they're sharper. But, like, I've never been the guy who's like, oh, yeah, I can work until midnight. I can work until 1 a.m. because, like, I can't. It's not when I feel good. It's not when I'm sharp. So, yeah, it was just out of necessity in order to get to the gym before my job back then. And then I did it for a few years, and
then it just became
it's just
routine.
a habit.
It's
yeah.
natural.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Knowing yourself, knowing where you're going to be successful and how you're going to be most effective and
Yeah.
efficient, and that's huge because that's a mindset that maybe others take a lot longer to figure out, and you figured that out early on, right outside of college, because there's always that growing pain and period of, okay, now I'm out of college, now I've got a corporate or strict job, and I've got this routine, and it's a struggle kind of getting in there,
Right.
and then people change jobs or change careers because they can't figure out that they need to figure out themselves internally to know what will make them successful and when they'll be 100% operating or whatnot. So
Yeah.
that's huge that you figured out that early on, and obviously you've seen the successes directly from that in terms of, yeah, you had a successful career in engineering, but then you were able to figure out another passion, and then you took that leap into it where, again, maybe it was a cushy corporate job of engineering, which you studied.
Right.
You spent 4 years, and there's a lot of money probably at the University of Louisville, right? So, and then all of a sudden to just be like, hey, you know what? You tell your family, you and Jess were dating at the time, correct?
We were engaged when I
Okay.
left.
Oh, okay. You
Oh,
guys were
wow.
engaged then. Okay,
Yeah.
dang.
Wow.
Time flies. Yeah.
Yeah, we had gotten engaged in September. No. I'm sorry. We weren't engaged
Okay.
About to
yet.
get in
Yeah.
trouble.
No, we were not engaged yet.
Maybe she had wished you guys were engaged.
Yeah.
Waiting.
She was waiting.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, that's a big career change, especially early on. Because how old are you?
I am 28.
Yeah. So not even
Dang,
30,
you
right?
are- what?
Not even 30. It took me till 32.
didn't
I
even-
got married 32, 31. I got engaged on my 30th birthday. Got
Y'all
married
are
the
just
next year.
digging yourselves.
My timeline is so long.
old.
We'll cut this part out.
Yeah, we were
Technical
engaged.
difficulties,
We were
not sure what
engaged.
happened,
We
yeah.
were engaged.
Y'all are
So-
both like, wait,
Yeah.
when was it? This and that.
Carry the two.
That's
Oh,
why.
yeah.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
just shutting up. I'm like, nah.
So it's huge to kind of take that leap of faith with whatever's going on in your personal relationship, and then have that support that you have from your family, your friends, and whatnot, and just be like, you know what, I'm going to go out there and start my business. Because, and the real estate world of things is, it's a small business. It starts from nothing. You
yeah.
have, back end knowledge of different aspects from a different career, but it's still a whole new different world. And
Yep.
kind of transitioning into that listing side of things, you got in as an investor and then the agent route. And
Yeah.
how did that go for you?
Yeah, wait. Okay, so I know you're about to, but like,
Yeah.
Well, what I wanted to add was first, like, you had an engineering job. Tell us a little bit about that, and then what made you go from engineering to I want to be a real estate investor?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I
So-
just I wanted to
that's
start
good.
early.
Yeah, we'll
first.
take a step back. Yeah.
Within a couple months of me graduating, working at an engineering, a corporate job, I knew I was not going to be working like a corporate desk job in my entire life.
Okay.
I was like,
Okay.
I'm going to find something that I can do on my own. I can go out there and make however much money I can make versus like whatever they tell me they're going to pay me type of thing. And then also like just have the freedom to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
So, just reading books, doing research, whatever, I came across real estate, and I even had like a note in my phone, when we were out drinking or something one night, like 2017 or 2018, it just said, and I still have it, says like research real estate investing. 'Cause somebody told me something about it, and then so I kind of started digging into it. And me being an engineer, like real estate's all about the numbers. Like I'm a math guy.
Yeah.
So, I was drawn toward it, and so like when I was working as an engineer, that was when I was introduced to Varun, and I had bought one property that I lived in, was looking for a few other rental properties to purchase, and that kind of is what got me into it. And then once I started doing it, and I realized what it could be, especially long term, I was hooked, and I was like, this is gonna be like the thing. For sure.
So you met Varun right when you had your first home, right?
So I had my second.
Oh, second. Okay.
Yeah, because I had moved into a duplex in Norwood.
Yep.
And shortly after that, the lender actually who saved that deal is the one who introduced me to Varun.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
And because I was like, I forget how it came up, but she's like, you got to talk to this agent. Like, I think he'd be a great person for you to talk to.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
connected, and we saw a property together. First time with you and your dad.
Yep.
Over Southgate near
Somewhere.
Newport
It was like
somewhere.
falling,
Yeah.
Kentucky?
it was
Okay.
like falling off a hill.
So you already had your
Not the
Kentucky
one.
license by then. Is
Yeah.
that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we saw another couple properties, and then you bought that one on Maple in Norwood, and then from there, and I remember because we met at OPG.
Yeah.
That's when you told me, hey, I got my courses, about to take the test. Here's what I want to do, and it kind of worked out together perfectly because it was end of COVID, or not end of COVID, sorry.
End of 2020.
End of 2020. So I was kind of in the thick of how crazy the pandemic was going in the real estate world.
Right.
And I was looking and kind of strategizing on how to handle and manage the investment projects, the clientele and whatnot, and it kind of just came together.
Yeah, because
perfectly.
after you showed us all those properties and we bought that little property in Norwood, I decided I wanted to get my license so that, at the time it was just, hey, if I'm going to be buying properties on the MLS, make a little bit of money off of it, and I don't have to be a burden to somebody to, like, if I want to go look at 10 properties like today, and they're all $50,000, $60,000 properties where the agent's not making that much anyway, like I don't want to be a burden. I can take that on my own. And I can call the agent, smart. I can negotiate it, whatever. I just felt like it was an easy, like, extra layer that I could add to getting into that, business. And, I remember I called you and I was like, let's go. Well, we went to go get, dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember, dude, when you, like, sent me an email, like, I think maybe Bill was copied on it. You're like, would love to have you join the team. Like, I remember very vividly, like, I was driving my car and I got, like, amped.
Yeah.
Nice. And I was just like, let's go. Like, we're making it happen type of thing.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
But, so then I got my real estate license, which I no longer hold. The agent work wasn't quite for me. And as we grew further in the investing side, which is what I really wanted to do, it made more sense of, like, Varun, you're better at this. I would, I'll just pay you to do this because I'd rather you do it. You're better at it. It's just more cohesive that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's worked out.
Yeah, it's worked out great, and that was a learning curve of our partnership and kind of building the business on figuring that out. Because I always encourage any investor to get their real estate license, or anyone really considering. Get your license. You never know where it might go to. And yes, there are advantages of being able to buy your own property, have different accesses to, maybe find something off market, maybe something an expired or a canceled listing, and then just kind of have that insight through the MLS, whatnot. So have those advantages. But we figured it out that, okay, you guys are managing everything A to Z, and you're tied to this project both personally, financially, and then now you have to go and deal with the consumer side of it, where those were some struggles, right? And it's like it was just a lot to manage, where you're now spreading yourself thin, and it was great that we figured that out. And I think we've been doing it over a year now of that successfully, and it's gone well.
And like I wouldn't trade it for the world, because when I did that, and then I did have a few clients, and I was making some commissions, prior to me quitting my engineering job. Between that and having a few flip projects that I knew I was going to be making money on, like that, I was like, okay, I have a few different avenues to like continue to, have income to where I can leave this and focus on what I want to full time.
Yeah.
And that was obviously what I needed to be able to like really accelerate.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, and the real estate market, from a consumer standpoint, like from an agent standpoint, has drastically changed. I mean, obviously since 2008.
Yeah.
But then after the pandemic, I mean, the market, how urgent people are, and the craziness of like offers and whatnot. So I'm sure all that didn't make it easier for you at all.
And then we kind of found a good spot for me on your team where like, hey, investor clients I will work with. Because it was something that I wanted to do because I saw it as, hey, I can't buy every property, but like all these other people who are buying properties, if I'm representing them, I'm underwriting the deal for them, I'm helping them, I'm seeing them through the entire process, I'm just getting more reps.
Yeah.
So like I'm getting more reps on me buying a deal and getting more experience when, this went bad or this went bad or whatever it is. Like it just helped me grow as an investor.
For sure.
I mean, there's value in that I maybe not always like put on it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because, like you said, you got to see the ins and outs of it. And I think that was still, regardless of what you're doing now, it was a great journey or part of the journey to help you be successful and kind of grow from there. So, I mean, that it was great. And I think we'll have a long-lasting partnership and relationship and friendship that we'll look back at. Because, it's funny because, yes, we both vividly remember those times of where we like, okay, knew, all right, we're coming together, and it's been 4 or 5 years down the road, and it's been a hell of a ride. And we're looking forward to all the future stuff. And, because it's funny because my dad has a very good friend that's been a business partner, guy he met through the store, running and operating the store, and they have a long-lasting friendship. And I look a lot at that of what we can be and stuff like that. It's just now we've got to get a tailgating bus together. Got to host a tailgate every Sunday morning and all that stuff to really just fit the mold there. So, Mavisha and Jess are listening to this like, no way in hell.
So real estate investment obviously has been, a trending and hot topic for many, many years. People have been doing it like even in high school, right? Like people were starting to do that stuff. So like, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are like, wow, this guy just does real estate investments and that's how he makes money and stuff.
Yeah.
You guys are the experts here. Like, share with our listeners, like, what all is real estate investment? Like, take it back to like 101, 201, masters, whatever. Just drop some knowledge on us about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of glitz and glamour that's posted on social media and whatnot. Our VRG investments page that we manage and like to put content out there about real estate investing, from tips and tricks to look out for when you're getting into it, certain successes. We've put our numbers out there. We've done before and after flips. But we try to show the whole behind the scenes and aspect. That was the point of that account when we started that, right? Of just sharing the full story and aspect. But even in Instagram, whatnot, people just make the assumptions, oh, cool, they bought this for this, they fixed and flipped, they're rolling in the dough and whatnot. And it's not all that what it's made out to be, unfortunately, like anything in social media. There are definitely some successes in there. But there's definitely some big pain points that can be tremendously painful that we, went through. Dang,
that
did I
sound
just
fun? Tremendously painful. Like, oh, ow. Nope, don't do it.
It's only because there's one fresh project in our heads and brains right now. So, and that we can really want to share on. And the way actually Jordan came on to be the guest today was I messaged him this morning. I was like, hey, I'm going to talk about 1713 Lang Street, and I wanted to kind of get his permission that he's cool with talking about it. And then I was like, you know what? Why don't you come on? And it'll be great insight to just share and talk about, what we went through, because you and Cole were invested in that one from day one, right? Found the property, and then we looked at it as a great Airbnb successful opportunity. And it was gonna be dope. It was gonna be great. I came on as a capital investor, and we were gonna have this sick rooftop building in OTR that was gonna be amazing.
And we were gonna buy it.
Yeah.
We were gonna pay a contractor the money, and it was gonna be done in 6 months.
Yeah.
Be on budget, on time, and then we'd all, walk away happy.
Yeah.
So then what happened?
Something like that.
Yeah.
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 So, I feel like
yeah.
and every business probably has this, and I know it.
Right.
Yes.
It all
Yes.
looks glitz and glamour.
It all looks
right.
glitz and glamour. But the reality of the situation is there's learning lessons, growing pains.
You're right.
Right? And like me personally, I know this. I'm a high risk individual where I'm like, I want to go. And, that can cause issues.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
So growing pains is, for this project in particular, we got involved with a contractor who, in essence, stole a bunch of money.
oh boy.
And not
And
only
he was actually tied on to 4 or 5 projects?
Six projects.
Oh,
projects.
your guys'
Yeah.
projects?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Ooh.
So this was a whole ordeal. We found out the contractor isn't paying subcontractors. He's not hitting timelines. He's stealing money out of the budget.
Oh
Just
man.
everything that can go wrong with the
Just
contractor.
went wrong.
Which is a combination of the guy's a complete crook and I didn't approach it the correct way. Like knowing what I know now,
Yeah,
I would never.
right.
I have myself set up. I would never be put in that situation again.
Okay. Well, you learned.
But you learn, yeah. So that was something that we went through on this project, and it ended up taking way longer than we expected, like 18 months instead of 6 to 12.
Wow.
Yep. The budget about doubled.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Luckily, the project it came out as, I would say, as good or better than like what we had envisioned.
Yes. Yeah.
When we
Sweet.
walked it the first
Okay.
time.
We were very happy. We finally looked into this because every time that we had been going to the house, you and Cole longer than me, but once I started coming into it, more in a not day-to-day role, but more a frequent role of coming in, seeing the project, getting more involved, I would say probably back in January, bringing on the designer and whatnot, my mood and viewpoint of the house just changed too.
Correct.
Because I remember I would always tell you guys,
resent
no,
the
let's
house.
stay positive.
Yeah.
No, guys,
That's
stay
good.
positive. We'll have it.
Yeah.
And then I would walk in and be like, screw this. Like, I would say a lot more,
Than that.
Yeah, a lot more
I'm
than
sure.
that, but we'll keep it PG.
Yeah.
Right.
And it would just become painful, right?
Yeah.
It was just like, dang, like, how is this happening? What are we doing? Whatnot. But, and then at the end of the day, last week we got a contract on it, and I was legit sad. Because I was like in love with this place again.
What, do you want to buy it? Did you want to keep it? Not buy it. You already bought
Couldn't
it.
figure out how to buy a primary.
I get the feeling, but we have gotten rid of all the other projects
Yes.
that
Yeah.
contractor was tied to.
Yeah.
And this is the final one, so I'm just like euphoric.
Yeah.
And as much money as we've lost and on all the deals that have gone sour or whatever,
Yeah.
I went through all that pain emotionally, mentally 12 months ago.
Yeah.
And we we got into a lawsuit with the contractor.
Right. Yeah.
We spent a ton of money on attorney fees.
Yep.
The guy.
Oh, man.
Part of what happened with the project is, he put all these fraudulent mechanic liens on all of our properties.
Oh,
Right.
boy.
And with some of our construction lenders, if that happens, they cut you off. They're like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
we're not doing any work on this. You got to get it figured out in court before
Yeah.
we'll give you any more money to finish the project.
Right.
Right.
Which is what delayed the project.
Yeah.
We couldn't do any work for 6 or 7 months.
Yep.
Does-
But during that time, you still have holding costs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holding costs,
you're
operating
getting-
costs, but you're not
you've
making
got all
any
that.
progress in the projects.
Yeah.
Plus, then some of the other projects we had investors in that we could not get out of the project. So it was
Yeah.
like a 12, 18-month just tough ordeal because I remember vividly when you called me and got the, not subpoena, but notification of lawsuit.
Yeah. When they opened.
It was
suit.
literally the first day I got home with Ziana.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it was
wow.
just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
how do we manage this?
And so, no, we found that out in May, right? So he put all these fraudulent mechanic liens on. We hired an attorney right away, and we notified him, hey, you need to sue us over these because we know you're wrong. You have to sue us in the next 2 months or else they'll automatically fall off. Okay, cool. It won't be a big deal. No way he's going to sue us.
Yeah.
The psychopath did. He opened up a lawsuit on
Yeah.
us. And I almost couldn't believe it because of how astronomical his claims were.
Okay.
And he had taken a ton of money from us.
Yeah.
So he owed us a ton of money.
Yeah.
Right? And that was April, May last year. And, it didn't really get resolved until like October of last year, the lawsuit aspect of it. And come July, was when I find out that Jessica's pregnant.
Wow.
So like it's like the most stressful year of my life by far, and then throwing a baby in the mix, I was there's a lot of emotions involved.
Yeah.
So you're hearing straight up like the trials and tribulations that happen in your life along with entrepreneurship, real estate investment. It's not always all positive and great, but that's awesome that you guys were able to keep a positive outlook. You guys were resilient enough to obviously get everything solved, right? Did everything work out the way you all wanted it to? Was it better? Like what's that? Was it better? I guess is relative, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, knowing what I know now, like how bad down we were, like the fact that we came through out the other end and like we're gonna make it and like we're good, is almost shocking.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big yes and no. It's a big yes and no for sure. Because it was a learning experience about how we were exposed, and it wasn't anything of our mistake, but it's just understanding that everything needs to be paid attention to, and it's the stuff behind the scenes, getting certain contracts in place, waiver liens in place, having an attorney review and get documents in place so we can protect ourselves, and then going through that pain of yes, for you for sure, managing, because you and Cole were dealing with the brunt of it.
And realistically, I'm the one who brought this man into our world.
So you're already kind of feeling like, oh man.
So I brought I brought the contractor into our world.
Okay.
And I was the one who didn't set things up properly. So it was all, for the most part, my fault.
No, I wouldn't.
No,
say
don't
that.
ever say that.
Say that. You may feel that way, but you never know.
Yeah. But I mean, the good news is I genuinely feel like we took 5 or 10 years of lessons and condensed them into a 12-month period.
Yes.
We had so many so many projects going on.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of construction that we big construction projects that we had was almost naive for us to think that we could manage them. Basically, just Cole and I. Mm-hmm. And during that time, I was even trying to have just Cole do it. Because I was like, Cole came and he was supposed to be the project manager. Hey, if you can deal with all the contractors, I'm going to be the acquisitions guy. I get all of our deals. I'll bring all the new projects in. We'll get them sold, whatever. You can deal with the contractors during it. And we ended up having to basically hey, we're not buying anything for the near future.
Yeah.
We still did buy a few projects, but they were much easier, a little simple projects.
Yeah.
Because we had to have some money coming in.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, the fact that we were able to, I feel like, really shorten the timeline of the learning curve.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is the best
I know
thing,
for a fact we'll look back on it and I'd be like, it all happened for a reason. I believe
it
that.
all happens for a reason. You're right.
I exposed myself when we were at this level rather than when we're 5 years from now. As big as the numbers feel right now.
Yeah.
We know they're obviously always going to get bigger.
Yep.
Okay.
You're absolutely right, because we're only looking to go up. Bigger
Right.
projects, expanding and whatnot. And it certainly could have happened years down the road where we're just, maybe we've built a bigger empire or whatnot. And it's a lot more painful.
Yeah.
And so, yes, and that's the best thing I love about real estate is you can learn. It's all experience-based. You hit the lows, you hit the rock bottom, you figure it out, and you go from there. And, at the end of the day, we look at it as we made it out alive, essentially, right? Because
We're still here.
I remember when we got the call, I didn't know, and I'm looking at Gianna in my arms, and you're calling me saying, hey, we just got notification of lawsuit or whatever it was in the mail or whatnot, and it was just okay, let's call this attorney. And, we also had some struggles with the attorney or whatnot, too. So it was just it felt at some point one gut punch after the other, and they were trying to figure out. And then for you found out you were pregnant as well, so a whole other train of emotions and thoughts went through your head too.
Cole
so
and I on a daily basis, it was just up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
The emotions were absurd. You get one bit of good news, and you get a subcontractor that you didn't even know worked on your house calling you saying, you owe me $25,000. This guy never paid me. And I'm like, I paid him.
Yeah, exactly. We took care of it. And I was just talking with my business partner about something, and we made it simple. Entrepreneurship and working for yourself, it's all about problem solving.
Yeah.
That's what it's really all about. it's every challenge that comes your way, you're just trying to like battle it and get through it. No matter what the industry is, what type of entrepreneurship it is, you know, self-employed, whatever. It's all problems that you're just trying to solve, and you can't quit. You have to build that tough skin, that resilience to just be able to keep going. Imagine if you guys were like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I feel like that's like in any given transaction, there's going to be 5 or 10 things that come up that like could potentially kill the deal.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Right. And like sometimes there's not as many, sometimes there's more, sometimes they're worse. I feel like the people who are better in the industry, like Varun, or you know, as we're doing our own deals, it's like when something comes up over time with experience, you're just like, 2 years ago I'd have been like, oh, I guess we can't buy that house. It's like, well, okay, well, what do we got to do here? Like, do we need to spend money? Do we need to call somebody? Is there someone we have to get involved? Like, there's something we can do to figure it out. Right. And that's probably, you know, every industry, like you said. But yeah, that's what it is. It's solving a problem.
Yeah, it's good because we've built some good relationships where we can call and have experts or what that we can lean on to bring in for, you know, okay, hey, we run into a structural issue. We've got a guy. So we've built a good relationship over the last 4 years with a solid foundation of contractors. And yes, going through this experience too, we know how to deal with contractors that are renovating, certain things we need to put in place, and kind of growing from there so that, looking back at all of this, we'll be like, it was a blessing in disguise. Certainly scary, certainly painful in kind of being in the present moment of it. But I think we wrote it out and we leaned on each other. You know, I think the three of us kind of were just like, you know, the figure it the fuck out mentality.
Yeah. And it was definitely days where like I could not have been more down.
Yeah.
And, you know, Cole would come in just chipper as hell. And I'm like, dude, no.
Yeah, Cole's a G. Yeah, Cole's sitting right over there. Cole's got us through a lot.
There's days where, like, if I didn't have Cole, if I didn't have Varun, like, there's zero chance I would have ever made through all this because just from a mentality standpoint, right? Of like, no, like, hey, no, you know what? It's all good. The only thing we can do right now is we can go to this project and we can make sure that gets done so that deal can close. Mm-hmm. Okay, just one step at a time.
So, for people that may not know about real estate investing and whatnot a lot, I'm sure a lot of our listeners do or are already doing it, but like, what are the different types of real estate investing that people could get into, and what do you guys feel like you guys have the most expertise in?
Yeah, I mean, great question. There's a lot of different aspects that you can get into real estate investing. You can, you know, the simple BRRRR method out there that a lot of people have heard.
What's
so
that?
That's BRRRR, and that's buy, rehab, refinance, and rent, and repeat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you buy a property that needs some value add, meaning it needs some upgrades or whatnot to get to a good rental value.
Okay.
So that's the rehab part of it.
Yep.
Then you refinance. So typically you've borrowed some money from a lender, from a private money, capital investor, whatnot, and then you refinance out of that loan to rehab and cover the acquisition and rehab costs of the project.
Yep.
Then you refinance into a more conventional, traditional loan.
Yes.
Traditional loan. You pull out the money the equity that you've built into this project
From the upgrades you did.
Let's say $100,000. You bought the property. It needed $50,000 in rehab, and now it's worth $200,000, $225,000, and you're now renting it out. You pull out that equity to pay back the $150,000 loan.
Yep.
Pull out that equity, and now you use that as a down payment to buy the next
so
next
you're
project,
leveraging
which is
debt
the
or
repeat.
leverage. I guess would that be leveraging debt or leveraging
Debt and assets.
Assets to be able to then go and invest more.
So now you've got a rental property. Now you've got one rental property
Yep,
which
you've
is
got that
generating
income coming
income,
in.
and then now you're taking that equity and leveraging that to buy the next project, and then continue that.
So that's the bet, like, well, not bet, like
That's
the
like,
most popular.
I mean, it's very popular, like growing rental property.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, if you're
So,
trying
like,
to control.
to your point of like the different types, we're in residential, almost exclusively residential.
Yeah.
And I would say rental properties is like the one true like investing.
Okay.
Right? Our active income is flipping houses.
Yep.
You know, you fix it up, you resell it.
And then you just flip it. Yep.
And then you make money on it. Or wholesaling, which is a similar type of thing where you're not fixing it up and you just are selling it to another investor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're leveraging your network in that
And
aspect.
you're, just selling,
because-
you're selling the contract, you're selling the rights. I call Joe, who owns a house, he wants $100,000 for it. Hey, perfect. Here's a contract. I sell it to Marianne, who is looking for a new investment. Hey, you want this for 120? Cool. Okay.
And then they'll do the
you're
BRR
middlemanning
method
it.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
you're middlemanning
that-
it, and they can do whatever you want with it.
Correct.
Ah,
You middleman it because, yes, most oftentimes in the wholesaling world, it's a distressed property. It's a property that they don't want to fix up. They don't want to deal with.
Can't get a
Okay.
conventional loan on it. You got to buy it in cash.
Yeah, okay.
So they leverage this aspect of Jordan and Cole's network of buyers that they can push it out to, whereas somebody that owns this house doesn't really have that network. They're not going to deal with the traditional real estate agent, real estate market, and they're going to be able to find a buyer that way.
And I started only doing rental properties.
Okay,
the
that's
BRRRR
what you're
method
doing.
is how I got into it. That was that made a lot of sense to me. And then I wanted to do flipping because I'm like, hey, here's a way for me to make money, and just again getting more repetitions of what I wanted to ultimately do, to where I can continue to make money and leave my job.
Yeah.
And then the wholesaling thing, we actually just got into it really 8 months ago, which has just been another tool that we can add on to. Hey, here's another income generating tool that we can have. Basically.
Okay. Now you guys mentioned earlier on about Airbnbs and stuff like that. Do you guys do that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So we've got into Airbnbs and short-term
And
rentals.
I'm playing a little bit of dumb because we're all partners here
Yes,
too.
yeah.
But I want to
We
make
are
sure
partners in the
we
property.
inform
That's why
our
I'm giggling.
audience on everything.
Yeah. So there's a short-term rental as well. So you can turn into your property as a short-term rental, or you can buy a property that's already operating as a short-term rental, or turnkey and ready to be turned into a short-term rental. So there's the BRRRR method, or there's investing-wise where the numbers make sense that you're just buying a house that's already been flipped and turnkey, and that's what meets your needs as an investor. Because the great thing about real estate investing, everyone has so many different advantages, opportunities, time availability, and knowledge that they can put into their rental business or investment options. So somebody can say, hey, yes, I am a P&G'er. Okay, I've got, certain income, certain savings. Here's what I want to do. I don't want to be hands-on at all. I want something just turnkey, ready to go. And then there's somebody that fits the mold for them. There's somebody that could also be a P&G'er, but they're like, you know what? I've got some time on my hands. I've got a little knowledge of, fixing things and whatnot, so I can manage that stuff on the weekends and the evenings. I've got some connections to contractors that do more opening up walls or electric or whatnot, and they can then do the BRRRR method or whatnot. Or they've got a P&G'er that's
Everyone's
got a lot
a
of
P&G'er.
savings.
Yeah, clearly everyone's a P&G'er.
If you live in Cincinnati and you don't
You're a
work at P&G, what are you doing with your life?
You're also getting the real estate.
And you've got some good savings, and you want to make a little bit better return versus the 4.5% high yield savings accounts that Fifth Third is offering right now. Tag all of these busises into.
Yes, we're tagging everyone, especially that general contractor.
So it's really put his website up in the background, and all you social media stalkers go and find this guy
trolls
for us.
Bring out the trolls.
So that's what's amazing about real estate investing, and you can listen to podcasts, read different books, figure out the knowledge that you're comfortable in, and you can then go from there. You can start it on your own. You can reach out to guys like Jordan and I.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
Reach out to
where
these guys.
that's where this experience all comes into, because when I was doing investing and Jordan came on the team, it just kind of everything clicked of okay, we can expand and share this knowledge. And it wasn't that we started the investment side of social media aspect to say, hey, we want to work with you. We just like to share that knowledge and our struggles and our wins and our successes to say, this was great for us. Okay, this is what we missed on in terms of, hey, we bought this property. Then we realized we have $20,000 to put in for structural improvements, and we missed that on kind of the bidding out process or whatnot. So how we navigated through that and still made the numbers work, still made our investors happy. So you can be a capital investor. You can be hands-on and buy a project and rent it out and fix it up. You can buy something turnkey. You can get into a real estate fund that purchases properties all throughout as commercial and different properties in that portfolio and get dividends, which is something we'll probably start in the near future. You can get into different syndications of buying car washes, storage facilities, even mobile home trailer parks, and
There's an
so
absurd
much,
way.
Yeah, there's
number of ways.
There's so
you can
much
make
that
money
can be done out there, and bringing it back to the struggles that we've dealt with over the last 12, 18 months, like you said, is these are all great experiences that we've had, and we are able to have at this point in our careers of real estate networking and investing, because it's only up from here. There's growth from here, which is what we're all looking at going forward. Yep, we're kind of looking in the past more in the aspect of learning and growing, but we're looking for the future of, okay, here's how we need to handle contractors. Here's how we need to vet them. Here's how we need to bid out our projects. Here's certain contracts and documents we need to have in place on projects to protect ourselves, protect our investors, protect our capital. And then it's just, and we go. And we realize even from the human aspects of, okay, like you had mentioned, we thought, okay, brought on Cole. Cole can handle and manage and all this stuff. But then seeing that is like, Cole's a G, but it's a lot for someone to take on, right?
So it's okay. I mean, PM,
what do we
everyone's
need?
got it.
And I also learned that too, because I was just a capital investor, and I was like, okay, cool, Jordan's got it or whatnot. And then it's like, okay, not that Jordan failed or missed on something. It's like, okay, I can't just be like, oh, Jordan, you go handle it all and make sure I get my money back, right? It's like, okay, it's a partnership, it's a relationship. How can we help each other out and then grow? Because that's not all on Jordan to take on. It's just, okay, Jordan, you deal with it. You deal with hiring the contractor. You make sure everything's good. And then Jordan now has to sit back if something goes down and feel that he has to take the brunt of that failure or whatnot, which is not the case.
No, that's not the case.
Which shouldn't be the case at all. So,
and I can say from personal experience, like, there's probably a lot of people like me. I was like, hey, I don't know a lot about real estate whatsoever. I've got my own home, but I want to get into this slowly.
Yeah.
And so I went to the trusted people that I know.
Yeah.
And we did slowly start to get into one property, and then maybe later on it'll get into some other stuff. And so I think talking to experts first, people that live this daily.
Right.
If you're looking to get into it, do it that way versus just like, oh, I'm going to try and do this whole thing myself, right? Like,
absolutely.
You're going to get to where you're trying to go a lot faster.
Yep. Utilize the resources, because I have had people come to me all the time and feel that it's weird for them to say they're getting into real estate, they're getting into real estate investing or whatnot. And I'm like, great, absolutely, do it. Let me know how I can help, because I love everyone getting into real estate, because I think real estate is an amazing opportunity for setting you up for success, setting your family up for success, and just building that generational wealth in essence. And that's what everyone wants to do, because there's a lot of financial gurus on social media and different podcasts or whatnot that talk about things. And it's great that the next generation, Jordan and Cole's generation of that, they're paying attention to their finances because they want to control a little bit more. Yes, you can put it into different life insurance, stocks, EFTs, whatnot, Bitcoin. Certain things that are out there, but it's just taking control of your financial investments and financial gains, because the goals in our life now are more so experiences, not working harder, working smarter, right?
Working smarter.
And real estate gives you that opportunity.
Well, and that's one thing, like, you're 28 and you're already figuring things out. Like, I knew I didn't want to do this corporate job. I read, researched, got educated and informed into real estate. And now you've already got multiple properties. You're doing this. You're educating others. And you're 28. At 28, I was still kicking it in nightclubs, not knowing what the hell I'm going to do by the age 30.
Yeah.
Right? So evolution is at work right here, right now. So kudos to the challenges y'all went through, the learnings y'all went through, and sharing this. We're definitely going to have you on the podcast again to talk about, all right, what's happened with some of these properties later.
Yeah.
Also to talk about Blair and what the journeys looked like.
Yep.
I think we appreciate you coming on, and that was obviously a little bit of a last-minute guest, but I think it's worked out great. So
absolutely.
Any takeaways, anything y'all want to share with our audience from what you guys have learned?
My takeaway, and then Jordan, I'll let you share some things, is just whether in business or friendship or family or whatever it may be in relationships, just having that team behind you or with you, not even behind you, with you, is super amazing.
Yep.
Super advantageous. And when you have that and you have that ability, which allows you to be successful financially, successful personally, with your family. And I measure success in the sense of, am I home with my family or am I out working?
Yep.
Right? Am I out running a gas station like my dad had to? That was gone 18 hours
All
a
the
day.
time, yeah.
Or while we're putting fires out, I'm at least at home kind of putting fires out, right? I'm with Ziana, I'm with Bavisha, I'm with my family, and I'm able to do amazing things and get experiences in life that my parents were not fortunate enough to have, because they figured, okay, I've got to provide for my kid, and thankful and blessed to have that. But I think the team and partnerships and friendships and relationships you have in life are super important. You'll have ones that come and go, and you'll have ones that will stay with you forever. And I hope that Jordan and mine and Cole's and my relationship is that, the one that lasts forever. Yeah. So yeah, that's my takeaway out of all this, out of the last 12, 15 months. That there's probably not anybody else I'd want to ride this ride with other than with you guys.
For
so,
sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What you got?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if you're able to top that, but damn.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that came to mind was, like, in business, right, is being willing to take a risk on something.
Yeah.
Roll the dice.
Yeah.
We only live once.
Yeah.
So I'm like proud that I've done that, that we've done that, and that, like, we've taken the punches to the mouth. Which, people always talk about, the old guys in business always talk about, oh, you don't know how good you've got it, or you've never gone through anything. And I know for a fact we'll go through a bigger challenge than what that was, even though that seemed like something that would never end. So, like, I'm happy that we did that, obviously.
Yeah. I'm glad we had each other through it, because, taking it all alone.
Right,
and
imagine doing
whatnot,
it yourself, man. Just by yourself, you would have quit. Like, then you saw Cole walking in all perky.
Like
You're
you said, having the family behind you, like, right, having Jessica at home.
Yeah.
There were some dark nights where I was just like,
yeah,
babe, I don't know if it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
And, obviously it ended up fine.
Yeah.
Having family behind you and having good partners.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
It's your community.
Yep.
No, awesome takeaways. This was a great episode. Thank you for sharing. Congratulations to your family. Beautiful family.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we'll have to catch up on Ziana and all her running around, too, on our next episode.
Yeah.
We're going to be on episode 10 next.
Episode 10
Wow,
next.
that's going to
Yeah,
be crazy.
it'll
So
insane.
thank you, everyone, for listening to episode 9 of Listings and Lullabies, a Girl Dad's Journey podcast. Don't forget to check us out at girldadspodcast.com. All of our episodes are on Spotify, Apple, our website. You can see the videos on YouTube and on our website. And also, do not forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at girldads.podcast. Thank you so much. Thank you for the love. Thank you for all the feedback.
All right. Yes,
We'll
sir.
see you on the
Thanks,
next one.
Jordan.
Appreciate you
it.
guys.
Thank
8
you.
days
Thank you,
till
Jordan.
football, baby. Let's go.
8 days.
8
Let's go.
Sundays. 8 Sundays.
8 Sundays. Oh, 8 Sundays. I was like, whoa. All right. Thank you, everyone.